It's like I think
Right.
part of what makes it authentic is like we can just, I mean, these are complex issues. We can unpack it for hours and
Yeah.
probably still have hours more stuff to talk about. I don't know. I think it's just more real.
Yeah, it's definitely that. And the other thing about television that's always going to hold it back is the fact that every conversation gets interrupted every X amount of minutes because you have to cut to a commercial. So you really can't get into depth. Even Bill Maher's show is only an hour. You know, you have all these people talking over each other, then you sit down with one person for a short amount of time. It's just not enough time for important subjects. It's also, a lot of them, for whatever reason, want to do it in front of an audience, which is the worst way to get people to talk. Like, when you imagine these disasters that you had if there was like 5,000 people staring at you in a TV crowd as well.
Yeah.
So there's that added element,
Yeah.
which is so not normal and not conducive to having a conversation where you're talking about nuanced things,
Yeah.
where you have to like think, you have to be able to pause and not concern yourself with being entertaining in front of these fucking people just sitting there staring at you.
Yeah, and also like when you're having a conversation, it like I don't know, it's like when you start talking about something, your kind of subconscious kicks in. You start thinking about the topic. So it's like you might not actually have the thing that you want to say until like 5 minutes later.
Right,
And
right.
I mean, it's like when we started this conversation, I think like the first few minutes were just kind of slow. It's like warming up. Like
Yep.
I'm like, okay, kind of like downloading into my memory. Like how am I gonna like, it's like how am I gonna just explain these different things? But it's yeah, no, I just think that's sort of how people work.
What's also like, it's conversations are like a dance. You know, one person can't be dancing at another speed and the other person's going slow. Like, you kind of have to find the rhythm that you're going to talk with. And then you have to actually be interested in what you're talking about. That's another thing that they are at a huge disadvantage of in mainstream media. Is like, they're just doing that because that's their job. They probably don't even know a lot about climate change. They probably don't really understand too much about what SpaceX is trying to accomplish, but they're just reporting on it.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I'm sure and a lot of the people I've met there, I think, are good people.
I'm sure
it's just
they
a
are.
tough format.
It's
right?
a
tough
terrible format. Yeah, and the problem is they get locked into that format and no one trusts them.